Good afternoon. Welcome to Learning Innovation Hub PH. I am Mary Grace Lee and I will be facilitating this event. Learning Innovation Hub PH is a training and development company committed to help you learn technologies that will help you improve your productivity at work. We also help learning and development professionals with their training needs and upskill them with the latest innovation in the learning and development industry. With this mission, we launch a series of brown bag session, which is a 2 to 3 hour bite-sized session conducted every 2 Saturdays of the month to help you as a professional adapt to technological advancement and work changes that resulted from the adjustment of companies amidst of COVID-19 pandemic. The brown bag session is free and every session will be uploaded to our YouTube channel Learning Innovation Hub PH. We are encouraging you to subscribe to our channel to access our latest contents. This is the second brown bag session. We have conducted our first session last November under the topic How to Protect Your Business and Customers Against COVID-19. This session is available to watch in our YouTube channel. This brown bag session will also be uploaded tomorrow to our YouTube page. Please share the video to your colleagues and friends. Let us now go to the topic today. Because of the lockdown that happened mid-March this year, most of the companies embrace the work from home arrangement. Physical meetings and trainings were prohibited. With this, we have transitioned to online meetings and trainings. For the past 10 months, we have been doing a lot of online meetings and trainings. But the question is, are we doing it properly? For this afternoon, we have invited a speaker from Employers Confederation of the Philippines to talk about their practices in conducting online meetings and trainings. He will give us tips and share what are the things he is doing in preparing and conducting online meetings. But before that, I would like to give some few reminders. Before we start, please mute upon entry. There is a raise hand button located in the lower part of your screen. If you want to share something, the speaker will unmute you. When the speaker is asking for your answers to his questions, or if you want to give comments to the topic, please use the chat button. Use question and answer button to ask questions to the speaker. Please respect each other's opinion. There will be a 10-minute break at 3:45 p.m. PowerPoint presentation will not be shared, but video recording will be uploaded to our YouTube channel tomorrow. I also would like to invite you to follow, like, and subscribe to our social media pages by typing Learning Innovation Hub PH to get the latest updates to our activities. So we have Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. This webinar can also be streamed live at Learning Innovation Hub PH Facebook page. Please share this with your colleagues and friends who have failed to access our Zoom webinar. And now, I would like to introduce our speaker for this afternoon. He is currently the Training and Development Manager of the Employers Confederation of the Philippines, and he has a 12-year experience in the learning and development industry, where his expertise lies on instructional and program design and development and program implementation. He has an industrial relations certification from ILO in Geneva, Switzerland, and a certification on digital training from ITCILO in Turin, Italy. He is a certified management trainer from the Association for Overseas Technical Scholarship in Osaka, Japan. He completed his MBA at San Beda College, Alabang, and finished his degree in psychology at the University of Santo Tomas, Manila. Without further ado, I would like to give the platform to Mr. Ray Tadeo. Mr. Tadeo, the platform is yours.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. How are you, everyone? So, I think this is a rainy Saturday morning. So, I guess there's a storm in part of southern part of the Philippines, and wherever you are, I hope that you're doing well, doing good. So again, thank you for attending this brown bag session. So I'm going to get your 3 hours to this day to talk about Zoom meetings and webinars. So I'm going to share some tips that we've been doing in the Employers Confederation of the Philippines, as well as um, what are the things that we've been doing in the training department. So, okay. So before that, I also would like to greet you in advance. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope that you have a bountiful year this 2020 in spite of this pandemic. Okay, so let's go now to the objectives of this webinar. So what are we going to tackle in this webinar? So we're going to learn the best practices in conducting an online meeting. How do we effectively manage online meetings and webinars? So I'm going to give you some tips on how do we prepare meetings and also webinars. And we're going to also discuss Zoom etiquettes. What are some Zoom etiquettes? Because sometimes we forgot or we forget those Zoom etiquettes, and let us remind each other that we need to have this Zoom etiquettes every time we had this training. I'm going to share with you some Zoom functions that will help you with your online meeting as well as our online training. And last is we're going to discover online tools that can help you with your online meeting. So this tool can be a free tool, or if you want to subscribe with those tools, you can subscribe or you can pay a certain fee. Okay. Okay, so what's on our plate for this afternoon? As I said in our objectives, first I'm going to discuss about online meetings, the history of online meetings, what happened to us, why do we transition in online meetings. I know there are some multi-companies who are attendees of this webinar who has been doing online meetings for their um, regional offices or if they have overseas clients. And what's happening right now when the government told us that we need to have this lockdown. So what happened to what's the scenario here in the Philippines? Then I'm going to discuss about Zoom meetings, the preparation, online meeting etiquette, and post-meeting. So I'm going to share with you how do we prepare Zoom meetings. Again, online meeting etiquette and post meeting. So how do we wrap up our meeting sessions? And third, Zoom webinars. I'm going to share with you the difference between Zoom meeting platform and Zoom webinar platform. I think some of you are not that familiar that Zoom has a webinar platform. So that what are we using right now is a Zoom webinar platform. So I'm going to discuss what's the difference between those two types of platform. And also, I'm going to share with you how do we prepare for a webinar. So what are the steps that we've been doing in preparing for a webinar? And lastly is how do we execute a webinar. So number four, and I'm going to share with you some sample online tools that we've been using in the organization or with our partners. So we use Padlet, Miro, Poplet, and Kahoot. So I'm going to share with you Padlet, Miro, and Poplet later. Okay. Okay, so nice to meet you. I want to meet you, or I want to know the people here in the platform. So by doing that, I would like to invite you to participate in an online activity. So if you have a secondary device, you can use your laptop, desktop, mobile phone, or tablet, then go to menti.com. So I'll share my screen right now. Okay, so Mentimeter is one of the tools that we've been using in when we're doing online trainings. So I would like to for people here that are not familiar with this platform. So this is a online survey platform. So um, now, I would like to ask you to use your secondary devices, mobile phones, if you have spare laptops or tablet, then please go to menti.com and enter the code 7052426. Again, the code is 7052426. So once you're inside the platform, please click the thumbs up logo for me to know that you're ready to participate in this Mentimeter activity. So I can see 43 attendees here in the platform, maybe 35. If we reach 35, we can start with the survey. And for people that are planning to use their mobile device, there's a QR code shown in your screen. You please scan the QR code and you're going to be redirected to the platform. Again, we're going to have an activity. So it's a survey activity to know the participants here in this platform. So this activity is you cannot see the who responded in this activity. Everyone is anonymous. So if you type your answer will be anonymous. So I will not know who typed these answers, or other participants also will not know your responses. So this is a collective survey. So I can see 17 participants already onboarded in the platform. So again, for those who haven't accessed the Mentimeter platform, please go to www.menti.com and use the code 7052442 and 6. Again, the code is 7052442 and 6. So once you're inside the platform, please click the thumbs up logo for us to know that you're ready to participate in this activity. Then I hope that you can participate actively in this activity. For those who are streaming via our Facebook Live, you can also participate in this Mentimeter activity. So for those who are streaming live, please go to menti.com. Please go to www.menti.com and type the code 7052426. So once you are inside the platform, please click the thumbs up logo for us to know that you're ready to participate. So I guess let's start in three more participants, then we start the survey. Okay, I have 27 participants here actively participating in this survey. Okay, so three more. So in this Mentimeter survey, everything will be confidential. So the one who type their responses, their names will not be shown. So and your responses will be gathered collectively. So we have 27, 28. Okay, thank you for logging in. Can I request for two participants more? Okay, so we have 28 participants waiting in the platform. Okay, again, for those who haven't um, joined the platform, please go to www.menti.com, or you can scan the code shown in your screen. So once you are inside the room or the platform, please enter the code 7052426. Then after that, please click the thumbs up logo for us to know that you are ready to participate in the Mentimeter survey. Okay, so I have 29. I hope I can have one. Okay, it's 30. So let's start with the first question. Okay, I would like to know the sex of the participants here in this meeting. So how many are males? How many are females? And if you are not comfortable to say, please type in, or please click rather not to say. Okay, so I can see 15 participants in this platform. I can see 10 males and 16 females. Okay, thank you very much. 26 respondents right now. So I guess most of the participants here watching us are mostly they are females. Okay, let's go now to the next question. So I would like to know your position or designation in your company. If you are assistant, vice president, president, okay, we have managers, administrative officer, we have also a trainer, we have document controller, operational management, we have learning and development specialist, training manager, timekeeper, vice president for corporate support, we have OSH consultant here, HR managers, industrial engineers. Okay, we have HR manager. Okay, so we have a diverse participants here in this cohort. So, but I think most of the participants here are coming from the human resource department. Okay, okay, okay. So we have industrial engineer, accounting staff, compliance assistants, and we have also sales and marketing practitioners. Okay, thank you very much. Let's go now to the next question. Okay, I would like to know from what industry your company belongs. If you belong to services, maybe you came from retail industry, you came from banking industry, you came from distribution industry, BPO industry, please type in the service industry. Okay, I can see manufacturing, I can see one from agribusiness industry, okay, 5 from other industry. Okay, later I'm interested to know what are the other industry that you are you belong to. So later I'm going to ask the trade of your industry. Okay, I have this 6 from service industry, 10 from manufacturing industry, 1 from agribusiness industry, and 7 from other industry. Okay, thank you very much for your answers. Okay, let's go now to the next question. Okay, how about the trade? So what does your company do? So now, from your industry, please type in, what does your company do? What does your company does? So what is the trade of your company? Okay, we have from garments, 2 from garments industry, HMO. We have 1 from skills training. We have 1 from power generation. We have from academe, microfinance services, transportation, food, automotive industry. We have also in pharmaceutical industry. We have from consulting industry, food production. Okay, someone offer freelance services. Okay, we have also from training industry. Okay, Okay. Thank you very much. Information agency. We have also from information agency. Food productions and automotive. Okay, thank you very much for answering this. Okay, let's go now to the next question. Okay, so now, although I sent an advance email to the participants telling us what are the things that you're interested to learn in this training, but some of you failed to send those responses. Now, please type in your platform, what are your learning expectations? So what are the things that, okay, how to handle Zoom meetings better? Okay, I'm going to share some tips on how to handle Zoom meetings better. And also, I'm going to show you the important, some of the important features of Zoom that you can use. Of course, you need to have a mastery of the Zoom platform. Okay, how to manage participants during a Zoom meeting training, effectively manage Zoom meetings and webinars. Okay, utilize Zoom. Okay, platform, how to make more interactive the online meetings, okay, conduct of virtual meetings, how to manage, oh, it was lost, meetings and features to acquire, ways to uplift the participants' participation during a webinar, okay, 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 so let's wait for others. So basically, most of you are interested how to make your webinars lively, or how to engage participants. And if we have a long meetings, how do we engage everyone during our meeting? So we're going to share some tips. Of course, not all of the discussion here will be coming from me. I'm going to also ask your best practices in your company. You can use the chat button later, or the chat box, to type or to share your best practices. Again, if you have any questions or clarification, please use the question and answer toolbar located in your Zoom platform. And if you want to share or answer some questions, please use the chat button. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. How to engage participants. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's go now to the next question. So I have three more questions here. So I'm interested to know what online meeting platforms that you are currently using right now. So I guess not all of the participants here are using Zoom platform. Okay, 365. Okay, they are using Zoom, Google Meet, currently Zoom, MS Teams and Zoom. Okay, Zoom, okay, MS Teams. Okay. Are there participants using Viber, WhatsApp, or Facebook? Okay, Team 365. Okay. FB Messenger. Okay, someone answered FB. Google Hangout. Okay. WhatsApp, Google Meet. Okay. So most of you here are using Zoom, but in your company, they're also using other platforms. Okay. Thank you very much. Of course, we also need to learn how to use other platforms. If ever we have external clients or external people, or people that are not working in our company, but they're using different platforms, of course we need to use those kind of things. But for the interest of the topic, we're going to discuss more on Zoom meetings. But you can also apply the things that I'm going to share with you during your online meetings. Okay, thank you, thank you. Let's go now to the next question. This is the last two questions. What are the pros or the advantage in conducting an online meeting? So I guess last March, this year, mid-March, all of us transitions to online meetings and trainings. So some of us had this positive advantages, or the pros or the advantages of doing online meetings, and some of us have this disadvantage. But now I would like to learn what are the advantages or the pros in conducting online meetings. Okay. So no time to travel. Yes, convenient. Travel less, accessibility, and multiple attendees. Yes, you're correct. No face-to-face meeting, avoid physical contact, needs to travel, convenient, can be done anywhere, time management. Yes, I like this answer, time management. We can control our meetings. Unlike before that we can have meetings that could last at least a day or a few hours, but now we have this 30-minute to 1 hour meeting. Minimize physical contact with others, faster sharing of reports and presentation, cost saving. I like this answer, cost saving, because every time we do Zoom meetings, we need to prepare coffee, we need to prepare snacks. So I guess we ask people to just bring their coffee, bring your own coffees. So that's it. Okay, no travel time, recorded meetings. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, for the last question, so I asked what are the pros or the advantages, and now I would like to ask you what are the disadvantages in conducting an online meeting? So please type the disadvantages. So I know that there's a lot of advantages in doing the online meeting. Okay, quality of trainings. Okay, so I guess most of the participants that attend the training, they're also looking for the physical presence. Yes, you're correct. Less engaging. Yes. Of course, we still look for the human interactions or the physical interaction. People tend to multitask. Yes, you're correct. People tend to multitask. Less human interaction. Unstable connection. Yes, you're correct. Uh, Here in the Philippines, we have this, unfortunately, we have unstable connection. So it's unproductive sometimes if we do trainings or meetings and suddenly they will have internet uh, unstable internet connection. Tech difficulties, yes, you're correct. Engagement of participants is challenging, lack of personal connection, not giving full attention. Okay, yes, you're correct, especially if we know every time that we have Zoom meetings, we see that people turn off their webinar cameras. So we don't know if they're having your attention or doing other things. Okay, strains the eyes more. Ergonomics, some don't know how to use the ethics. Energy of the speaker can't be absorbed. Okay. Connection, Gen X participants. Okay. Unstable networking, resulting to miscommunication, less engaging. You can see sometimes the participant multitasking and intermittent connection. Okay, disruptions every now and then. Challenge of on engagement of attendees. Okay, thank you very much. I guess this is my last question. Okay, so thank you very much for participating in this um, Zoom Mentimeter survey. I hope you also use Mentimeter in your I hope you also use Mentimeter when you're doing your presentations or doing your online trainings. Okay, so let me go back to my screen. Okay. Okay, so thank you very much for your answers and your participation in this Mentimeter survey. So now, let's go now to our topic, online meetings. This is our first topic for today. So last March, mid-March, we have this lockdown and most of us have been doing online meetings. in the comfort of our houses. And some of here in this meeting have been doing online meetings prior to the lockdown. So if, as I said a while ago, if you have meetings with your clients abroad, or if you are doing meetings with the other teams abroad, it's a plus factor for you. But other employees, when we transition from online from face to face or in person meeting to online meetings, we had this difficulty. But I think for the next, or for the 10 months that we've been doing this, I think we have already perfected doing online meetings. But unfortunately, other people are still struggling doing online meetings. Let me just share you some example in our organization. In the Employers Confederation of the Philippines, we started doing online trainings by the latter part of March. So we've been doing Zoom meetings by latter part of March. But we've been doing online meetings ever since when I joined the organization in 2011. We've been doing online meetings because we have partners from the Europe, we have partners from other countries, and we use Skype platform to conduct online meetings. So I think this is an advantage to us. But unfortunately, I myself, I'm the training and development manager of ECO. I need to shift from physical trainings in the classroom to online trainings. I've been attending a lot of online trainings from the other funding agencies, from the United Nations and other training institutions. But we're not using Zoom. We're using GoToMeetings, WebEx, and other platforms. We have translated to Zoom last March, and as I told you, latter part of March, we conducted the Zoom webinars. Unfortunately, some of the participants there are new to Zoom, so we have a lot of technical difficulties when we conduct our webinar. So we've been receiving a lot of emails that they cannot access the Zoom webinars. They are having this connection. Sometimes the participants are trying to open their speakers and try to talk. So it disrupted the thing that the training that we've been doing. So we've been perfecting those trainings and webinars. So fortunately, as I told you, this is December. We have concluded our final training last week. I guess we in the organization we have mastered for me, we have mastered doing online trainings in ECO. Okay. Okay, so in this slide, you can see a man. This is a clip from, or this is a picture that I grabbed in the internet. This is 2001: A Space Odyssey, a film by Stanley Kubrick. So I don't know if or here are who in this meeting are familiar with this movie. Please, I would like to see hands. Or familiar with 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is a good film. Have you watched this film? It's okay. So I cannot see anyone who knows. Okay, I guess you haven't watched this film. This film was released in 1978 by the director Stanley Kubrick. So in this picture, you can see the guy. This is William Sylvester, the actor, or Dr. Haywood Floyd. He was talking to his daughter. His daughter is in the planet Earth while he is in the outer space. So they were chatting to each other. So we can see that in the 1968 they have this idea or concept of video conferencing. And now going to the 2000 or 2020, we've been doing the online conferencing. So it's a bit ironic, or the technological advancement has been passed for almost 40 years. So just to give you brief history of the video conferencing. So in 1960, so the film was released in 1968. So in 1960, AT&T introduced the first video call, the picture phone. It was launched in 1964. So we have this picture phone in 1960, 1964. Then it was debuted in 1970s by AT&T. In 1980s, we have this Compression Labs released the first video conferencing system. And in 1990s, we have this PictureTel partner with IBM to introduce the first PC-based video conferencing. And in 1992, Macintosh. So you know Macintosh, this is Apple computers, released their first video conferencing software, See Me version 1 in 1992. And in 2000, Lifesize introduced the first HD video conferencing. And now, in the present, in 2010 onwards, we have this video conferencing. And it was put in the cloud and in the comfort of your phone. So you can watch, or you can stream videos, or you can talk to other people in the comforts of your phone. So that's the technology advancement from 40 years. So from the video of Stanley Kubrick, 2001 Space Odyssey, it it was we are now doing it. Video conferencing become a norm to us. Okay. Okay, so some of you have, I asked some of you what are the platforms that you've been using. Some of you are using Skype, 365, Microsoft Teams. Some of you are using Zoom, Facebook Messenger. I didn't see in the survey who answered Blue Jeans, but Blue Jeans is also used in other companies, Comcast, WebEx meetings usually used in the meetings with the United Nations, Google Meet. So those are the some of the examples of video conferencing tools. So in this slide, we see that there's a huge spike of the usage of online platforms in March. So if you are a shareholder of Zoom, I guess you are having a great fortune. So in March, the users of Zoom spike up to 26.9 million, followed by Skype and House Party. So video chat apps rise to prominence amid of pandemic. So of course, COVID-19 pandemic become a catalyst for us. Some of the training institutions are planning to conduct online trainings, but they're afraid because they think that they will have no participants, or people will not attend their trainings. But right now, a lot of people attended, or a lot of people are using online platforms. So by March, this is the beginning of the global lockdown. So Zoom has been the platform that a lot of companies have been using, and also the individuals. So with that, in the third quarter, we see that Zoom's earning beat the analysis expectation to 367%. So if you are a stake holder of the Zoom, I guess um, you're going to have this um, fortune. You have this 367% increase of earnings. So you're going to share the fruits of the. Okay, I asked you about what are the pros and cons of doing online meeting. So you told me that doing online meeting is good because it saves time, and doing online meetings also saves money because um, instead of preparing snacks for the visitors, or if you're doing trainings, instead of preparing food, it trims down the cost of doing meetings and trainings. So I have listed here some of the pros and cons in doing online training. So number one, the one pros of doing online training is give more ability for communication. Of course, communication is easier when we do it online. So we can, if people would like to meet you, to have a quick meeting, and you are in the other places, you can log in instead of going to your office or the place that you're going to have meeting. Again, it saves time and money for business. I remember in ECOP, we have this policy that we can only have two meetings if we're going out of the office because of the traffic in Metro Manila. Sometimes we have this meeting in the morning at 9 o'clock, then we need to go to the other meeting. We cannot have meeting at 10 o'clock or meeting at 11 o'clock because we need to go to other companies or other meetings in other buildings. But right now, you can have at least a lot of a lot as many as you can meetings using online platforms. So it saves time and money for your business. And again, it provides easy access to interactions. As I said, online meetings on online platforms is very convenient. It can get in the comfort of the button of your phones. You can use, you can activate your Zoom meetings or you can send invitations. It increase attendance. Yes, in the training. In ECOP, we have this only 30 participants in the training room. That's our maximum participants in the training room. But right now, I can see there are 49 attendees in this meeting. So I cannot put 49 people in one meeting room. So it increases the attendance, the reach of the people who can watch or who can attend the training or the meetings. So it increased the attendance. And also it helped in sharing the information. So because of the online meetings, it's easy for you to post the information instead of using your computer or your projector. It's easy for you just to share screen your document. Okay. Here are some cons that I've written down. Number one, it decrease personal contact. So when we do meetings, of course, there's an intimacy in doing meetings. When we have our colleagues in the office or close teammates, we have this sense of intimacy with them. So we talk to them about, there's a special bond that you can feel. But right now, it's hard. It's hard to feel those bonds, especially if you're having a Zoom meeting with your colleagues. It's the feeling is different. You cannot feel the thing that you cannot feel the feeling that when someone is in your front and you're talking with them, you cannot know their visual cues, their reactions to what you are saying. So uh, that is one of the cons of doing online meeting or training. Number two, it requires quality equipment and connection speed. Unfortunately, not all of our employees are using high-end laptops, and not all of our employees are given laptops or desktop to work at their home. Some of our employees, they only use their cell phones, and some of the employees have no internet connections in their house or in their home. So that's one of the cons of doing online meeting. We are not in the first world country. We're not in Korea. We're not in Europe where the internet connection is very fast. We're in the Philippines and we're struggling internet connections. Right now, I don't know if our connections in the internet service provider will cut off. So we have no certainty. So though that is one of the cons of doing online meetings or trainings. Again, reduce human contact. As I said that 70% of the verbal cues can be seen through the emotions that you're doing. So if you see the person waving their hands, nodding, you can see affirmation to that person. But if you cannot see, you can only see a black um, black icon. You cannot see the person that you're talking. It's hard for you to know if that person is listening to what you're saying or he's paying attention, or even if he's on the other side of his computer. Maybe his pets is just sitting there, his their dogs just sitting there in their replacement. So we don't know if we're talking with other people. So that's one of the disadvantage or cons in doing an online training. And lastly, it can be hacked. Um, in Zoom meetings, I know that they already put a waiting room, and the meeting leader often opens the uh, or opens the waiting room. So they accept people in their waiting room. The reason for that is because of the Zoom bombing. In the early days of lockdown, a lot of hackers go inside the Zoom platform, go inside the Zoom meeting. Then they posted pictures, obscene pictures, or they ruin your meetings. So what Zoom did is either you put your password, you give the password to the attendees, or you need to enable your waiting room. So doing online meetings, we don't have that security. It can be hacked. So those are the pros and cons of having online meeting. So I think another cons that is happening when we are doing online meeting is what we call Zoom fatigue. So I know we have meeting fatigue. If you've been sitting in the boardroom or sitting in the training room for few hours and listening to the lecturer or listening in the meeting room, we sometimes feel strained. We have this emotional strain. This same goes to when we have this online meetings. We have this what you call Zoom fatigue. So Zoom fatigue doesn't only if you're not using Zoom, you sometimes you will be saying that okay, I cannot have this Zoom fatigue because I'm using WebEx, I'm using Skype. It doesn't matter what platform that you've been calling, but we call this Zoom fatigue. I think this is a term that used that happen when you have this emotional and physical strain when doing online meetings. So we call it Zoom fatigue. So how do we eliminate Zoom fatigue? So I look or I research some recommendations on how to eliminate or lessen Zoom fatigue. So this is for the meetings. So according to Harvard Business Review, dated 2020, so this is a recent study or recommendations from Harvard Business Review. These are the recommendations on how to lessen Zoom fatigue. Okay, let's go now to the first point. Avoid multitasking. So research shows that trying to do multiple things at once cuts into performance because you have to turn certain parts of your brain on and off for different types of work. Switching between tasks can cost you as much as 40% of your productive time. And there's a research coming from Stanford that they found out that people who multitask can't remember things as well as their more singularly focused peers. So people who does multitask cannot remember what they're doing because they're very they don't focus on the things that they're doing. So one recommendation next time when you're doing a meeting or webinars, avoid working or avoid doing other tasks aside from listening to meetings or listening to trainings. Sometimes you can see people doing other reports while uh, having the meetings, or as our experience in ECOP, some of our attendees in the training, some of them are having other meetings while they're attending training. So their concentrations are being sapped away. So that's one of the factors that can contribute to Zoom fatigue. Number two, build-in breaks. um like while we're doing our actual face-to-face meeting or the in-person meeting, it's very exhausting to talk talk to each other, or to discuss, or even if you're listening to a training program, it's hard for you sometimes to concentrate because the speaker has been talking too much, and sometimes you want to go out. So as a recommendation, please build breaks during meetings, maybe 10-minute to 5-minute break. Have this type of bladder break or stretch for a while. So for your body to be energized or to be refreshed. So building breaks is important when doing meetings or conducting trainings. Okay, number three, reduce on-screen stimuli. So what does on-screen stimuli means? In this Zoom meeting, you can see a lot of things. My presentation, my PowerPoint presentation. When you're using Zoom meetings, sometimes you can see a lot of people. They open their webcams. Imagine that you're sitting to a different rooms, and you see a lot of things at the back of the person. Sometimes you can see different colors, and sometimes it strain your eyes. So reduce how do we reduce online stimuli? If you're having a meeting, you can look at your thumbnail videos, and you can hide your thumbnail videos, or you can also hide the thumbnail videos of other persons who belongs to the meeting. With this, you can reduce the external stimuli, as well as the distraction that will happen. Sometimes you can see their children suddenly um, playing around, and your concentration, instead of listening to the one or to the meeting facilitator, your attention goes to the kid who's playing at the back. So I'm recommending you to hide your thumbnail videos, or uh, avoid showing the thumbnail videos, for you just to focus on the the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, number four, make virtual social events opt-in. So what does this mean? After a long day of back-to-back video calls, it is normal to feel drained, particularly if you are an introvert. So we cannot push our colleagues to, hey, we have 4 o'clock Zoom meeting, but this meeting is important, you need to be there. So of course, the person that who wants to rest because of the tiring meeting has no choice if you're the boss. So make sure that that person who's going to attend the meeting, that he or she will feels that he's really important in that meeting. So how do you do that? Explain to the person that, hey Ray, you need to attend this meeting because we want to know your inputs on this matter. We're going to ask you in this meeting about this certain type of agenda, because we need your expertise, and we need your consent, or we need your um, the things that you think what should we do on this type of matter. So you make the person feel important. And you don't make the person just invite the person to attend the meeting and just sit there, and you need someone to listen to what the things that you're saying. You don't need an audience. Um, you don't need to invite people to attend your meeting or attend the training just for an audience. really to tell them what is on their plate, why do they need to attend this meeting, why do they need to attend this training, and why are they are important in this meeting. So make virtual social events opt-in. Okay, these two last things, switch to phone calls or email. And for external calls, avoid defaulting to video, especially if you don't know each other. If you're meeting with other people that doesn't require for you to show a document, please just switch in the phone calls. Don't use Zoom. Because some people, okay, we're going to have a meeting. Instead of doing teleconferencing, we use Zoom. Uh, Video conferencing is very exhausting, and we know that people doesn't want to listen to you or doesn't want to open their screen. If it is an important meeting, try to call the person. Use your phones. if if the signal is not good, use your um, use the other application. Like, you can use your internet. You can use Viber to call. You use your Facebook to call. You can use your WhatsApp to call. But avoid switching to Zoom meeting. Avoid making Zoom meetings as a default communication device in your companies. Not necessarily Zoom. Avoid having these online meetings. And if you have external clients or external providers or vendors that you want to meet with you, especially if you don't know, I'm also recommending not to open your Zoom or your videos because it's very exhausting. You can also call them if they're not going to present, or maybe they can just send the documents to you for you to review. Having online meeting is costly. A lot of data bandwidth that we've been used, especially in Zoom. So not all people are using their laptops, or not all the people are using their or they have this internet connection. So please bear in mind that um, please use online meetings if it is only important. Don't make online meetings as a default meeting. You can do other platforms. Okay. So, okay. Now let's go to Zoom meetings. So now I'm going to give some tips on how do you prepare and how do you conduct Zoom meetings. Okay, so for the preparation of Zoom meetings, where do we start? The first one is consider what platform to be used. So in considering what platform to be used, always check with your IT what are the platform to be used in your company. Because some of the platforms in the company are restricted. Some meeting platforms in a company cannot be installed in their computer. You need the access of the IT. So you need to coordinate with the IT person to tell, hey, is Zoom okay with us? For our security, is GoToMeeting, are we using this? So in doing meeting, always check with your system administrator. After that, always think of the attendees who will be attending your meetings. So when we say attendees, this can be your internal colleagues or your colleagues in your companies, your teammates, or your vendors. Or if you are training, or if you're going to organize training outside, what is the default app or video conferencing tool that people are have been using. So always look for what is the platform that is best for your attendees. So always think of that. What platform is the best for your attendees? If you think that the IT cannot do it, maybe you can use your personal computer, personal equipment, or you can also talk to your IT. IT, I need to have this seminar. An external vendor will be conducting seminar to us. How can we go about it? So always coordinate with your IT department. And when you do meetings, not necessarily trainings, make sure that the people who's going to attend the trainings know the platform that they're using, the functionality of the platform. Okay, when inviting attendees, you use meeting scheduler. So in Zoom, we have this Zoom integration. We can integrate the scheduler via Outlook, Google Calendar, and Yahoo Calendar. So again, if we're planning to have meetings, make sure that you send the meeting scheduler in advance. You can use Zoom integrations via Outlook, Google Calendar, and Yahoo Calendar. Or if you don't want that, you can copy the link. So I'll show you in this PowerPoint slide where you can see it. Okay, in your Zoom platform, if you type www.zoom.com, you will see this this boxes in your meetings. If you want to create a calendar, you can use Google Calendar. You can integrate this to your Outlook calendar, and you can integrate this to your Yahoo Calendar. You can also use the Zoom link as shown in this invite link, and you can also send this to your colleagues. So for them to see that, okay, I have this pending meeting and I need to attend this meeting and my meeting was blocked off. So again, always look at your attendees. Make sure that you send a meeting reminder in advance so you can block off their schedules. Okay, let's go now to the mastery of the platform. So how do we use Zoom? So I have research, or I want to share with you what are the things that I always put on default when using a Zoom meetings. Okay, so you can see this Zoom app. So how do we go to this Zoom app? You go first to your search button, or you can go to your Windows button, then find your Zoom app there. Or you can type in your search button Zoom and click on the app. Then this is the default interface or dashboard of the app. So I would like to focus on this circle, the gear icon. Some of the people here, they say this is the settings icon, this is the gear icon, and this is a cog icon. So when I attend trainings abroad, especially in Europe, they say that this is a cog. It's not a gear and it's not a settings button, but it's a cog. Anyway, go to your settings button and you can see different settings here. We have general, video, audio, share screen, chat, background filters, recording, profile, statistics, feedback, and keyboard shortcut. So I will not explain every buttons, but I'm going to just give you a brief background on the blue buttons that I checked. These are my default buttons. Okay, for this screen, start Zoom when I start Windows. Usually we don't check that. Why? Because it makes your computer open very slow. So when you open your computer, a lot of things pop up. So we don't want that. So we don't want Zoom to also to contribute to those icons popping in your computer. So we don't put check on that. So when we close, next is when we close or minimize window to the notification area instead of the taskbar. Okay, if we're going to notification, there's a notification screen on the upper right corner of your on your screen. We don't use the taskbar because in your when you're in the meeting, sometimes it is hard for you to look for your taskbar. So if you want to minimize the windows, just go to upper right portion of your computer. So you can see the minimize window. So use dual monitors if you're using dual monitors. Enter full screen. Okay, this one asked me to confirm when I leave meeting because sometimes we accidentally leave click the leave meeting button and we we were kicked outside of the room. So it's a good thing if we have this button for us saying that are you sure you want to leave, or maybe you have pressed the button or accidentally pressed the button. So that button is important. So for the reaction skin tone, this is a diversified skin tone from yellow to dark color. So if you want to be diverse, you can use this button. Okay, so let's go now to the next for the video conferencing. Okay, some of you were wondering why my video is not being seen. So maybe you put other um, other video options in your camera. So for this example, I placed OBS virtual camera because sometimes you have external cameras that you want to use or webcams because your webcams in your laptops are not good, or sometimes you connect your gears like SLRs to use as a webcam. So you use this camera area. So make sure you click on the default camera button. So you click high definition. If you want to mirror your videos, touch up your appearance and adjust for low light. And always display participants' name on their videos because you don't know the people. So you need to know to display the names of the participants. And sometimes if they're talking, you don't know who is talking. So always display the participant names on the video. This is an important box. Turn off my video when joining meeting. Some of us, when we automatically join the meetings, you can see our faces automatically enter the room. So we don't want that, especially if we're not prepared. So I'm recommending and suggesting to put a checkbox on this icon, turn off my video when joining a meeting. Okay, other buttons are always show video preview dialogue, hide non-video participants, see myself as the active speaker while speaking. Okay, in this lower part, you can see 25 to 49 participants. Sometimes when you are in the screen, you only see 25 participants. You can show 49 participants in the gallery view, especially if you want to have a selfie with them. You want to have take their pictures. You can use this button. So instead of going to the second page of your Zoom, you can capture all the participants in one screen. So 49 participants. Okay, for the next one, for the audio button, automatically adjust the microphone of your volume if you've been talking and the volume is not loud, so the computer will be adjusting your volume. Automatically join audio by computer when joining a meeting. You can disable it. Again, it's like the video when you turn on your Zoom and you're not ready, people will see you. And if you have a noisy background, people will hear it. So I'm also recommending to uncheck this icon. Press hold and space to key to temporarily unmute yourselves and sync button to your headsets. Okay, for the share screen, we have this functions in share screen. You can share a full screen mode, you can share a maximized window, you can maintain a current size. You can scale to fit the shared content to Zoom videos. If not, you can see only the half of your content. So make sure that check this button, scale to fit the shared content. Especially if you're using PowerPoint presentation that are resized to a big screen. Sometimes when you share it, you can only see the portion of your PowerPoint presentation. So kindly click the scale to fit so your presentation or the documents that you're going to share will fit on the screen. Silence system notification when sharing background. It is important. Why? We don't want other people to hear dings every time we are speaking. There are some notification coming from your apps like Facebook and other applications in your computer that can disrupt your discussion. So please silence system notification in your phone or in your computer. Okay, for the chat box, as you can see, Zoom is also a chat platform. It's not only here in the how do you say this in the share screen, but you can also use Zoom as a chat button. Um, or sorry, you can also use Zoom as an instant messenger. So you have this chat functions for Zoom. So you have this chat settings, show voice message, include link preview, change my status, start at finish unread, and all notifications. So you can also use the Zoom platform as a chat button. Okay, I can see someone raising his or her hand. Okay. Joris Kasaklang. Okay. Please unmute your phone or your mic. Yes, you want to share something or you want to ask question?
No, sorry. I was mistakenly picked the button.
Ah, okay, okay. No worries,
Okay,
no worries.
sorry. I was just listening. I was listening.
Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so if you want to share something or you want to ask questions, you can uh, click the raise hand button. Thank you. Okay, let's go now to background and filters. So you can also change your background. Some of you, if you're not comfortable, other people showing your background, maybe you're uncomfortable about where you're sitting right now. So you can use backgrounds. So you can create or you can upload your virtual backgrounds. For example, for your company, you can use your company logo for your backgrounds. So make sure you have only the solid background. So it will not look like that you look like an alien, because sometimes, for example, if the background is white and I'm also wearing white, they only can see my face. So make sure that you have how do you say this? You have green screen or your clothes is complementing with the background that you're using. For the recording, um, this is an option of Zoom. You can use Zoom to record your meetings, or you can use you can use their cloud services in recording. I guess they only give you 5 GB for the storage, or you can use your computer to save the video. So sometimes when you record the video, you record it via your computer. So the downside of it will take a lot of space in your computer. But the upside of recording your video in your computer, you don't need to uh, purchase cloud storage. So that's the thing. So if you don't have money for cloud storage, use your computer. And if you don't have any um, space in your computer, you might use your external hard drive, or you can use the cloud button. Okay, for next one is for the profile. It's just your profile. Okay, just your profile. So you can edit your profile, you can check your subscription. For the statistics, this is the statistics of your computer. If your computer can still use Zoom, um, one tip that I was telling people is to avoid opening a lot of applications or a lot of tabs in your computer so Zoom can work properly. You can see here the status of the Zoom, if the Zoom can still work or not. Next is the feedback. If you have having problems with the Zoom platform, you can write feedback. And you can also create some shortcuts if you want to have this global shortcuts where you can tick the boxes here. And if you are a persons with disability, you can also um, have this enabled. So you can enable IM's chat receive, can enable participants has joined, so you can enable screen alerts, or you can also make your the default size of the subtitle from normal to large. So these are the accessibility platforms of your Zoom. So keep in mind to go to your settings and check what are the things that you need to edit. Okay, so let's go now to the platform itself. So I screenshot the platform for educational learning purposes. So you can see in my screen your normal Zoom platform. This is the Zoom platform that we've been using in our meeting. So we have the mute, start video, security, participants, polls, share screen. So make sure that you're familiar with this type. Then you can go to the more settings and you can see the record uh, to computer, record to cloud, or breakout room. Okay. For a moment, I just would like to read some questions here. There is a question. Hi Ray, good day. Were you able to experience that your recordings had virus? Some people are telling me that if I save the recording on my computer hard drive, much better to separate external hard drive storage. Okay. Um, I haven't experienced downloading my recorded videos or having problems with downloaded videos because of the virus. Maybe your computer has a virus, or always check with your antivirus provider, because sometimes your antivirus provider sees that Zoom is a foreign object and the recording is a foreign object that being downloaded in your computer. So check first with your antivirus, or if you don't have antivirus, make sure that your computer is clean. So I haven't experienced having recorded videos from Zoom to my computer that had virus or any problems. If I experience or if I stumbled that problem, I'll send you an email what happened or how did I deal with that. Okay. Thank you for your question. Okay, so going back, in this platform, you can also in this is a Zoom meeting platform. You can use breakout rooms. So when you click on the three dots, you can see breakout rooms in the lower part of the three dots. You can record this to your computer, record this to your cloud. Okay, another one. This is also important thing. You can see ask all to unmute. So it unmutes all of the participants, mute participants upon entry. You should check that. Why? Because sometimes if the participants fail to unmute their buttons, you can see a very, especially if the participants, their backgrounds very noisy, it could disrupt your meetings. So mute participants upon entry. Allow participants to unmute themselves. Always check that. Allow participants to rename themselves. Of course, sometimes you see participants logging in, then their names are iPhone 10, iPhone X, or Samsung Galaxy S10. So sometimes you don't know who is this participant, especially in the training. If you're checking the attendance, make sure that you ask participants, please rename yourselves for us to better identify you in this meeting. Um, Below that, play sound when someone joins or leave. This is an important feature of Zoom, especially that they put or they indicated the waiting room, or they have activated the waiting room. Sometimes when you're having trainings, other people, especially if you are the meeting leader, sometimes there are people who are joining your meetings and you don't know that they are waiting in the waiting room for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or 30 minutes. So the thing is, so how do you avoid those kind of things is you play a sound. Sometimes if people will be joining your meeting and they're going to the Zoom meeting rooms, you will hear a ding button like ding. Then it will alert you that you need to make the person join the meeting. So so that's one of the tip that we use, because sometimes when we are having a training program and a lot of people are waiting in the meeting room, we don't know that because we've been doing the training and we're focusing on conducting the meetings or trainings. We forget that people are in the waiting room. So I suggest to check on this item, play when someone joins or leave. Okay. As I said a while ago, to prevent the Zoom bombing, the Zoom automatically put enable the waiting room. So if you disable the waiting room, you should give passwords to your attendees. And you, if you want, and last is lock your meeting. And if you want to lock the meeting, and if you don't want other people joining your meeting, you can also lock your meeting. Okay, so these are the things that participants often have these problems when they join a Zoom meeting. Sometimes uh, they mute themselves, or sometimes I cannot hear anything. I'm on, but I cannot hear anything. So you need to connect your audio for you to hear the meeting. And if you're using two computers, and you don't want to have feedback, you just leave computer audio. For example, I'm using two computers here, two laptops. If I on the other laptop, the audio laptop, there will have feedback because when I speak here and the laptop on my side also emit sounds, there will be a feedback. So you can also leave your computer audio. So I'm recommending that. Um, for the microphone, of course, you can also change your microphone. If you want to have a good sounds and you want to buy sounds, make sure that the check button is indicated on your microphone, as well as for the speaker. Sometimes your laptop has a problem and you want to use an external speaker, Bluetooth speaker, or sometimes you want to use your buds. Make sure that the gadgets that you're going to use is input in the check button. So here, the microphone and the speaker. It also goes the same with your video. So for your cameras, for example, if you want to use different cameras, if you have external cameras that been using, you can also use that. And if you want to use the virtual background, you can also use that. So this is for the video. And of course, if you want to have workshops, for example, if you're in a meeting and you want to have break room, you can also use the breakout room button. So when you have this breakout room button, you can automatically assign people, or you can manually assign people, or you can let participants choose the room. So when we're having a training, sometimes we have the participants go to room A, room B, room C, room D, and they need to talk to each other. Then they're going to go back to the to the panel to present. So you can also use the breakout rooms. So in using breakout rooms, just click on the breakout rooms, then you can assign manually or assign automatically. Then you click on the create button. And after that, you should open all the rooms. You also need to tell the participants if you're going to put them in the meeting room to click on the join button. Why? Because sometimes when you activate the meeting rooms, they just wait for them to go to the meeting rooms without clicking on the join button. So always tell the participants there is a join button that will pop up, and click it when I open all the rooms. So if you cannot see the meeting room, or if you cannot see the breakout rooms, you can go to your settings, and you can tick this breakout rooms. Uh, if you enabled it, a blue color, this device will turn into blue, meaning that it is active, and click on the check sign. So if you cannot see the this function, you can go to your settings. Okay. I hope you've been using your Zoom platform. Okay, we're done with the using Zoom as the platform. Now, let's go now to agenda. So of course, when we conduct meetings, we need to have agenda. So when putting together an agenda, please keep in mind, these are only my suggestions. I know that you have other techniques on creating an agenda. Um, Ask for input for those attending the meeting. You send the agenda to them, and sometimes you ask them, what are the other things that you want to put in the plate? So you ask them what the other agendas that you want to include in our meeting, so you can put it in the agenda. Number two, you need to note decisions that needs to be made. So what does this mean? Please take note when you send the agendas that there are some decisions that they need to agree upon, to be made, or to be discussed. So always put the important decision in the agenda. Sometimes we forget those kind of things that we ask people that we're going to have a meeting, but we forget that we're going to talk about these decision points. The third one, if necessary, identify who will lead the discussion for each agenda item or topic. So as a meeting leader, it is also important to pinpoint the person who will be looking at each agenda, because sometimes you don't know, the people put their agendas in the meeting, but they don't. As a meeting leader, I don't know what does this people mean. So you will tell, for example, Grace, please tell me, I'm going to put you as the leader on this discussion on your initiatives. At 3:30, you're going to discuss this agenda to the Mancom or to the people who's going to attend the meeting. So identify who will be the leader and put it in the agenda. This is the last part. Sometimes we have these meetings that are very stretched. When you say stretched, the meeting, there is no room for other concerns to be put on the plate. So please leave at least 15 to 10 minutes for additional questions or additional topics that will be put in the agenda. So that's one of my recommendations in designing your agendas and online agendas. Actually, we've been doing this thing in the face-to-face, but of course, doing in the virtual thing is also different. Later, I'm going to share with you some tools that you can use while doing some mind mappings or doing some online meetings. Okay, the next is time for meeting. So, what is the best time to conduct a meeting? I would like to ask you. So please type in the chat button what is the best time for you to conduct your meetings. One of you. Okay. Let's see. Let's say that the people are working from home and 9 o'clock a.m. Let's assume them that they already finished their breakfast and they already tend the needs of their families. 2 o'clock p.m. Why 2 o'clock p.m.? Sometimes they are having a late lunch, or sometimes for mothers that are tending their children, feeding their children from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock p.m. So they have a 1 hour more to prepare for the next meeting at 2 o'clock. That's why I am always recommending to start the meeting at 9 or 2 o'clock. Even the conduct of training, 9 o'clock and 2 o'clock p.m. So these are the best time that you conduct your meetings. Okay, so let's go now to the meeting space. So not all of us has this good workspace in our home. So I have a question in for you participants. So what are the things that you often hear when you're having your online meeting? Please type A, B, or C. Do you hear a rooster cocking, or do you hear dog barking? Do you hear construction? Okay, you hear A and B. Okay, you hear the dog outside. All of them, yes, yes, A and B. So in my case, in our house, uh, we have construction in our toilet, and I told my housemates that for this session from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I'm going to have this webinar. So would it be possible to stop the construction first if you're going to use power tools or going to hit something, because it might distract the meeting. So fortunately, they agreed on that. Sometimes you can also hear people, the doorbells, or maybe you can also hear the tao po, someone is looking for you. So those are the things that may distract your meetings. So remember that your house is not an office unless that you have a home office. So we have a lot of distractions that happening in our house. So we have our kids, we have our sometimes our parents, or sometimes our brothers and sisters, our wives, distracting you in your meeting. So how do we prepare for your meeting space? First one is find a space that is suitable for your online meetings. I know that you cannot have this three things because sometimes you have less distraction, you have good lighting and ergonomics, and you have strong internet. You have less distractions, you have a good lighting and ergonomics, but you have no strong internet. You have less distractions, you have good lighting and ergonomics, and you have a strong internet because the modem is outside in your living room. So you don't have all of this. But um, of course, we have no choice. We need to be flexible in our houses. So we need to find a place that has less distractions, lightings and ergonomics, and strong internet connections. I also recommend people to invest on the chairs, on ergonomic, not the ergonomic chairs because it's office chairs, or maybe chairs that you can lean upon, because uh, it was your back will suffer when you're in the meeting sitting for few hours, or sometimes if you want you just stand up if you have a chair, or you can put your laptop high so you just stand up during the meetings. Lightings is important, of course, if you want to show your face, but if you don't want to show your face, lighting is not important. But um, also invest on desk lamp. I bought a desk lamp in Lazada. The desk lamp is the one that you place in your monitor. It lightens your desktop. So it is important when you're having a meetings. If you are writing, you need illuminations when you're writing notes. So keep in mind, protect yourselves because we don't know how long that we're going to work in our houses. Make sure those ergonomic devices that can help you in your work. Please invest if you have money. But if you don't have money, just make sure that you innovate. So those kind of things. Okay, another tip is talk to your housemates about your meeting, especially if you are having this online meeting, or especially if you're the team leader or you're having this training. Talk to them properly. Don't tell, hey, don't be noisy. I will having talk to them properly. Have their consensus, because you are not the only person living in your house. You have other housemates. You have your parents. You have your wife. You have your kids. Talk to them properly. Say that, okay, I'm going to have a meeting from 2 to 5. I hope everyone is okay, and if there's a thing that will happen, please let me know so we can adjust. So talk to them properly. So i I know that you know this clip. I saw a clip in YouTube. It's a clip, an interview in about the North Korea's situation. I'm going to share the video to you. I know that you know this clip.
Scandals happen all the time. The question is, how do democracies respond to those scandals?
And what will it mean for the wider region? I think one of your children has just walked in. I mean, shifting sands in the region. Do you think relations with the North may change?
I would be surprised if they do. Pardon me.
That's all right. Carry on.
My apologies.
What's this going to mean for the region?
My apologies. Sorry. South Korea's policy choices on North Korea have been severely limited in the last 6 months to a year because.
Okay, so I know that you know this clip. Some of you have watched this clip in YouTube or in Facebook. So again, it's important to talk to your housemates. If your door has no lock, talk to them that you're going to have this meeting and it's very important meeting, and you want to have this privacy. So for you not to have this type of situation. Of course, it is also unavoidable to have those kind of things, but prevention is better than cure. Okay, as I said a while ago, please consider investing for your home office equipment. And if everything else fails, but okay, use your car. If you have car, or if you have transportation, sometimes you do your meetings on your inside your car and you just lock in your car. But make sure that you can uh, you can breathe inside your car. So if you really have this a lot of distractions, I'm recommending to use your car. But for those who have no car, of course, not all of us have car here. You can just need to find a safe space or a space where you can meet or you can conduct your online meetings. Okay, another thing is use earphone for better audio experience. I know some of you are using earphones when having meetings. So earphones help you to focus and also to condense the sound that you're saying instead of using the laptop microphone where the laptop can get all the sounds from your room. You can control the sounds by using your headphones or earphones. And if you have SLRs or DSLRs, you can also use your SLRs as your webcams. Um, but also make sure if your SLRs uh, are compatible with your Zoom devices or your computers. I guess the SLRs, the high-end SLRs, 50,000 and above, can be used as a webcam to have a good quality. I tried our cameras. It doesn't work because one of our SLR was purchased way back 2012 and it doesn't work anymore. So you can use, again, you can use your webcam, your SLRs as a camera. And I guess you need to buy this device. This is called video capture device. So the video capture device is a device that you need to put it in your webcam or SLR and could be put it in your computer. So your SLR can stream your face. So I guess this one, I think I bought this around 200 to 300 pesos in Lazada. So it's just cheap. And you need also to buy the wires to connect in your camera. So if you have SLR that you're not using, you can use it as no, as external camera. Okay, so before we go to the next session, let's have a 10-minute break for you to stretch. After 10-minute break, I'm going to proceed. So we're in the halfway of our session. Okay, so I'm going to share the timer. So we're going to have a 10-minute break. Okay, see you after 10 minutes. Okay, so I guess let's proceed. So during the meeting, what now? So let's talk about meeting etiquette. So these are the things that sometimes we forget, and our the persons that we're meeting, the other people, sometimes they also forget these kind of things. So let's go now for the first one. Provide agenda in advance if you are the meeting organizer. So we have already talk about designing agendas. So it is good for us to send the agenda in advance for the people who's going to attend the meetings or trainings to know what we're going to put in our plate. The next is always test your equipment. Um, this is one of the problem. Every time that uh, if we had these meetings, every people always say that, hello, hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I audible? So those kind of things. So before we do our meeting, we will make sure that everything is okay. Our equipment is working well. Um, the buttons are working, so we know if we are on mute, we are the video is not being seen. So always test your equipment to avoid inconvenience. The next is be on time. So there is no excuse of having um, there's no excuse of being late when we do online meetings. Unlike before, we have a million reasons why we didn't go to our office at 9 o'clock because of traffic. I cannot find any parking. There's an accident and everything. I guess the only excuse that we have is we have no electricity or we have no internet right now. So it's a must to be on time every time that we have meeting, because um, in the 8 hours that we're working, we need to make use of the time that we're working at home, and also we also need to look at the time of other people. Let's also not waste their time waiting for you. So please be on time when we're having this meeting. Okay, the next is there's a big debate when having online meetings. Um, is it, do we turn on our webcam or do we turn off our webcam? So I would like to ask people here, do you turn on or do you turn off your webcams? So please type on in your chat box. For you, do you turn on your webcams or do you turn off your webcams during meeting? Yes. Okay, turn on webcams. On. Yes. As much as possible, turn on the webcam. Yes. Turn off. Okay. On. Okay. So I'm interested. Why do you turn on or do you turn off your webcams? Please give me the reason. Turn on as requirement to see if they're still there. Okay. What else? So why do we turn off our webcams? What's the reason behind why we turn on our webcams, and what's the reason behind why do we turn off our webcams? Turn on attendance to see feedback. It depends. Okay. Turn off. Yes. Okay. Okay. I heard some of my friends who are teaching in the academe. They told me that they don't really require their students to turn on their webcams. They just ask them to turn on for a short period to just check the attendance. After that, they can turn off the webcams. In the trainings, as much as possible, we are encouraging people to turn on their webcams. Of course, as I said a while ago, when we have this training, online training, the personal interactions is lost. You cannot see the people. You cannot see if the people is listening, their actions, what are their facial expressions for those kind of things. So as much as possible, we are not requiring people to turn on their webcams, but we are encouraging them to turn on their webcams. In a meeting, especially if you are in a team meeting or an intimate meeting. When you say intimate meeting, this is your colleagues, your coworkers, or you've been knowing them for a long time. So I can recommend to turn on their webcams. Of course, the sense of longingness, we want to see each other in the webcam, in their webcams. If you are the meeting leader, you are obliged to turn on the webcam. If you are the meeting leader, why? Um, because it is unethical for a team lead, the one who's talking to turn off their webcams, especially if you're the leader and you've been saying something and people doesn't know if you've been doing other things or doing something while talking. For a meeting leader, I'm encouraging every meeting leader to turn on their webcams. It's a sign of respect and it's a sign of control. When you say control, it's like saying that, okay, I'm in charge of this meeting. I want to make sure that I'm always listening to what the team members or the meeting members are listening. There are some scenarios that you need to turn off your webcams. Number one, if your webcam is broken. So, of course, it's an excuse. Second one, if you are in a place that it's not conducive to turn on your webcams. The third one is you need to turn off your webcams if you have no internet subscription, meaning that if you're using the data, it's expensive if you're going to use to turn on your webcams because of the data being used. So those three suggestions are the things that you need to keep in mind if you want to turn on or turn off your webcams. Another thing, if you're the meeting leader and if you tell it in advance that the webcam is off, please don't ask people to turn their webcams on at the end of the meeting. Because you already told them in the beginning, okay, webcams are turned off. Unless you tell them that, okay, webcams are off, but we're going to have a class picture after the meeting, or we have a picture meeting. If you're comfortable to turn on your webcam, please do so. If you're uncomfortable in turning your webcam, so don't open your webcams. So those are the things that my recommendation why you need to turn on or turn off your data. Number one, for the privacy. If your equipment, if you have a strong internet connection, why not turn it on? If you're the meeting organizer or the meeting leader, you should turn on your webcam. Okay. So let's go now to the next is dress appropriately. Okay, this thing. A lot of us, of course, we missed dressing our office attire. They say that we're wearing semi-formal attires. When you say semi-formal, you're formal up, then you're sometimes wearing pajamas or wearing shorts. So there's a joke about the semi-formal. But of course, if you're the meeting leader, as much as possible, dress appropriately. I know that you're in home, you can wear collared shirt, or if you can wear long sleeves, if you have, just make yourself presentable. Comb your hair. Though we know that we're working at home, and we know sometimes if there's mothers who've been working, cooking, and doing other things, then we go to a meeting. Sometimes they don't look presentable. So, and also the guys who went out doing something. So find time to make yourself presentable. Dress appropriately, make yourself presentable. Because we don't know if our boss will be requiring us to turn on their cameras. So if they say, okay, Ray, I want you to see you. I want to see the what's happening with you. You need to turn on your camera. You have no choice. So uh, as I say, prepare for those unexpected things. Okay, next is always close your door. As much as possible, lock your doors because sometimes your housemate will open the doors and talk to you. As I said to you a while ago, you need to talk to your housemates that you will have the meeting on this certain time, or that you don't want to be disturbed. So sometimes they forget those things, even though you tend to told them 10 times, 20 times, just close the door. So if always close the door and lock the door. Or sometimes you're very noisy. Sometimes you're the one who's speaking and you get them disturbed. So avoid disturbing other people. If some people are sleeping, just close the door so they will not be disturbed. Okay, next is be prepared. Always be prepared. It's self-explanatory. If you're going to a meeting, always be prepared. Prepare with your reports, prepared with the action items that you're going to submit. Please always be prepared. Um, this one, for example, if you're going to have meetings with other departments that they don't know you personally, uh, every time that you want to say something or ask questions, always say your name. Hi, my name is Ray Tadeo. I'm from the Training and Development Department. I would like to ask this question. So it's polite to say your name and your department, even though I know that in the beginning there's a round robin to introduce yourselves, but sometimes people forget your name. Although, okay, who's Ray? Who's Ray? From what department is he? So just make sure that when you speak, turn on your microphone and you try to speak, say your name and from where are you from or what you're doing in the company. Next is please avoid sneaking out. So I see people or sometimes in the Zoom meeting, suddenly someone sneaks out. You say sneaks out, they just leave the meeting. Of course, there are some instances that people need to leave meetings because of the emergencies or sometimes they have a meeting marathon. If you are in that situation, please tell the meeting leader in advance that um, I'm sorry, I need to leave at this time. I have another meeting to catch. Just tell them that you need to leave at 5 o'clock. Don't just sneak out. It's impolite, especially that if there's an agenda or they will be needing you in the meeting, then suddenly, where are you? You sneaked out. Okay, another one is avoid multitasking. As I told you a while ago, um, please avoid multitasking. If you're in a meeting, please pay attention to the meeting. Next is keep everyone engaged. This is for the meeting organizer. I know some of the people doesn't want to attend meetings. Who wants to attend a 1 hour meeting and listening to the things that they don't want to listen anymore? So as a responsibility of the meeting organizer, he or she should engage everyone, ask their feedback, but don't force people to give their responses. Just invite them to talk, but don't force them. That's different. Inviting them to talk is just going, okay, Ray, do you have something to share in this topic? If you see someone who doesn't participating, but forcing them like, Ray, okay, Ray, what do you think of this? You need to give something out of this. That's forcing. Don't do that. That's rude. So keep everyone engaged, but avoid forcing them to talk. And later I'm also going to share with what are the online engagement tools that other people can use, even though they don't want to participate verbally. They can submit, or they can use the platform for engagement. Okay, give everyone a chance to speak. This is the thing that that is happening during trainings and during meetings. There is someone who is dominating the conversation. There is someone who is keep on asking questions. Let us give the mic to other people to share their thoughts. This is not only their meetings, this is not only their trainings. So please help or give everyone a chance to speak. Okay, this is important. Clear or close your web browsers. I have a story on this. So I want to get your ears about this story. Um, we don't know when we are going to share our screen. And sometimes people who are in the meeting, especially if they don't know the people that you are meeting with, sometimes you tend to stalk them on social media. You tend to stalk them in Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Look at them, who are these people, who is this people, and suddenly you forget to close the browser. And when you share your screen, the people will see that you are talking to that person. For example, there's a new lady who entered the meeting, and you want to see who is this person. Or for example, you are in the training and you want to look at those participants. So please keep in mind that this is anything can happen. This is a virtual training, or this is a virtual meeting. You might share files or web browsers that you don't want to share. I have attended one meeting that a guy, we are in a meeting with other agencies, and the guy reported, and we saw him looking at the Facebook of the other attendee, the woman attendee. Then he was looking at the profile of the woman. So it was shared in his screen. So we don't want that to happen. So please clear or close your web browsers. Just open those web browsers that you think that you need to use in the meeting. Another thing is why you need to close web browser. It gets the space of your memory. So when it gets the space of your memory, it makes your computer slow. So that's another important thing why you need to close your web browser, especially if you're not using other sites or applications. Okay, this is the next one. Avoid eating or drinking in front of the camera. So this is rude. So I can see people who are eating or drinking while having a meeting. Especially if you can see other are raising their glasses and drink water. So what you can do, you can stop the video for a while, then drink water. Always mute. You don't want to hear other people gulping aloud while having a meeting. So if you want to eat or drink in front of the camera, of course you cannot avoid it. For example, you have a marathon, make sure that people cannot see you eating or drinking if you cannot avoid it. But please don't eat or drink inside while having a meeting. Another thing why we avoid eating and drinking in front of our gadget, if our food was spilled in our laptops or in our desktop, it's a problem. So liquids can be spilled in our devices, and we don't want that to happen. So please avoid eating or drinking in front of the camera. So next, avoid using your webcam as a mirror. So make sure, please keep in mind that you are in an online meeting. I have a participants before that they use the webcam as their camera, and they're picking their nose. So you can see if you have 50 to 60 persons looking at you, then picking your nose in the gallery view, it's not proper. So avoid using your webcam as a mirror. You don't know if other people is looking at you, or you're doing something that's not good. So please avoid it. After you speak, always mute your button. So press the mute button once you are done speaking. So to hear to for the participants not to hear other noises that is happening. Okay, this is important. Keep in mind of the Safe Space Act, or addressing gender-based sexual harassment. Um, Trainings, online trainings, and meetings is an extension of your office. So please keep in mind of your jokes, the sexist jokes, or if you are a trainer, please avoid giving um, sexist jokes. Um, it's not. It's there's a law. There's a recently passed law that prohibiting gender-based sexual harassment. So some trainers are doing sexist jokes just to lighten up the crowd, but not all of the persons in the meeting or in the training are happy with your joke. So please be sensitive on those kind of things. So I got some articles, Article 4 on sexual harassment. On the Section D, there's an information and communication system, receiving, storing otherwise electronic data. This is the special case in Zoom. And if you are a trainer or doing trainings, educational and training institution also are included in the gender-based sexual harassment. And lastly, you need to plan effective wrap-up. So after each training, just summarize the things that you have discussed and tell the people to, okay, we're going to wrap up any questions, and close the meetings properly. Or you can tell them that our next meeting will be on the next week, and this will be our sample agenda. I know that you've been doing this because when having the physical meeting, the in-person meeting, you have this effective wrap-up, but sometimes we um, forgot to do these things. Okay, after the meeting, you should immediately send action points to the person, because sometimes you forget the things. Immediately send the minutes of the meeting to the persons, the agenda, next meeting, schedule the next meeting. So uh, so those are the things that you need to do. Okay, so let's go now to Zoom webinars. So as I said, Zoom has two platforms, the meeting platforms and the webinars. And I also going to discuss what are the things that I as a training organizer doing before we start doing or conceptualizing a training program. So for Zoom webinars, we have these two. We have the Zoom meeting and Zoom webinars. So what's the difference between Zoom meeting and Zoom webinars? Right now, we're using the Zoom webinar. The Zoom webinar is like a lecture hall or auditorium. It's ideal for large audiences or events that are open to public. Typically, webinar attendees do not interact with one. Zoom provides option for you to get more social with your attendees. Okay, let's think that you attended a conference in the hotel and there's a panelist and the speakers. So Zoom actually use the Zoom webinar if you want to have a symposium. You have a lot of participants, 1,000, hundreds attending your webinars, and you've invited panelists to talk to a certain topic. So we use that Zoom webinars. While Zoom meetings, this is used if you have small trainings, if you have interactions, if you want to have activities or what you call this, engagements, you use Zoom meetings. This is Zoom meetings best used for two participants, customer-faced meetings, sales meetings, or training session. While, as I said a while ago, webinars, Zoom webinars used if you have a lot of participants, like town halls, quarterly updates with your employees, or educational lectures. So we have a free and paid subscription. Okay, what are the other features for Zoom webinars? Okay, so you have host and co-host as the participant. For the webinars, you have panelists. So you can see panelists here and attendees here. And for Zoom meetings, unfortunately, you cannot use the breakout rooms. There's no breakout rooms for, for Zoom webinars, there's no breakout rooms, but you can use breakout rooms in Zoom meetings. For live stream, you can use both devices if you want to live stream your webinars or your meetings. Right now, we're having a live stream via Facebook, so you can also watch this training via the Facebook page. So you can use the both Zoom meetings and seminars, Zoom webinars in streaming. Okay, so now let's proceed on conducting an online training or webinar. So we're done with the meetings. We have, I give you tips or on doing some meetings, what you should be doing, what you should not be doing, how do you prepare in a meeting. I give you an overview of the platform. Now, for example, you want to conduct training in your company. So you work in the learning and development department, and you are, before you do a face-to-face or in-person training, and now you're going to conduct an online training or webinar. So what are the things that I would be sharing with you before the training? Number one is identify the objectives of your training. As a trainer, you need to know the needs of the participants or needs of the company. Why do we need to have this training? So you need to identify what this training for. Because if you're not going to identify the training or giving the objectives, the participants will get confused about this training. What does this training for? Why do I need to attend this training? Why are you demanding me to have a training during my day off? So those kind of training. So identify the objectives of your training. As a trainer, we always tell people, do we really need to conduct training? Of course, if you are in the organizational development professionals, we know that in the OD interventions, training is only one part of OD interventions. There's a lot of OD interventions. Not everything. If we have problems in the company, we do training. If people are dissatisfied about their work, we do training. We don't do that. So ask yourself, do we need to really to conduct the training? Because although conducting Zoom meetings is cheaper than conducting a face-to-face meeting, the time, the lost time, the productivity time of your employees will suffer. So for example, instead they're working for 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, they need to attend this kind of training. So think of it, do we really need to conduct the training? Next is who are your attendees? Of course, when you profile your attendees, it should also encompass your objectives. And also, please bear in mind, if you're going to have an online training, not all of your employees have this good signals, this good platforms, they have laptops and everything. So please bear in mind of those things. Who are your attendees? How can they access the training? What are the platforms that they're going to use? Are they comfortable using those kind of platforms? So you need to look at those kind of things. Next is who is your speaker? So is your speaker internal speaker or speaker from your company, or you're going to get external speaker. Maybe you're going to ask ECOP, do you have speaker on this training? We would like to invite your speaker. Identify who will be your speaker. If you have an external speaker, make sure that other packages like, for example, your company has no Zoom subscription, make sure that ask your external provider to host the meeting platform and talk to your speaker about what platform that he or she is going to use in your company. So you need to talk to your speaker, if is it an in-house speaker or an external speaker. Okay, next is training date and time. So what is the recommended training date and time? So some of the trainings are being conducted from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Some trainings have been conducted from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, the same. It is recommended to have a maximum 3 hours for an online training. Why? Because more than 3 hours, very exhausting. Again, Zoom fatigue. So let's have at least 2 to 3 hours of training. And if you have designed a one-day training, just chop the training into different days or sessions for the participants to check in. So you don't need, I heard some of the training providers are giving a one-day Zoom training. I don't know how a participant can stay for long. It's hard for a participant. It's very tiring. I know if we're handling the face-to-face or the in-person training for 8 hours, it's very tiring for the participant. What else? If the participant is attending a whole day training. Okay, another is the online platform to be used. We have discussed that a while ago. Next is the registration process. If you want, excuse me, if you want other people to register in your training, what are the platforms that you need to use? I have some recommended platforms for registration. You can use Eventbrite, you can use Attendee, you can use LinkedIn Events, Eventzilla, Eventleaf, 123 Sign Up. You can also use Facebook Event, Google Forms, Google Calendar, and Google Outlook. But if you're using Zoom, there's a function here where you can create an registration form. Just go to meetings. Okay, go to meetings, Google Calendar, and edit this meeting. Then you can go to the registration. You can activate your registration in your Zoom. Then you can go to edit. Then you can create your own registration. You can have automatically approve, or you can have manual approve. And you can also send an email to yourself if someone registered. For the question, you can customize the questions that you want to ask. You can ask the name, their addresses, their cities, their zip, their phone, their industry, and their organization. And you can also ask them questions. You can also draft some custom questions to ask the participants. So this is an example of Zoom attendance registration form. So you can use this as your Zoom attendance sheet. I guess we used Zoom platform for this training. So you registered via this the Zoom link, and you put the fields. So you can also view the number of registrants, how many people have registered to the training, and you can also look or view their names in the registration. Okay, I have some comments in. We do 8 hour as dole requirement training, 10-minute break per 1 hour as usual, 1 hour lunch break. Yes, the dole. This is for the OSH training. They have the full 8 hour training, but I don't know if you split the 8 hours into different session. You can also do maybe in the few webinar session, I'm going to teach you how to conduct both synchronous and asynchronous training. How do you design asynchronous training? But because not everything you should be teaching in the Zoom webinar. You can use learning management systems. You can use other devices. You can use recorded meetings. So not necessarily you spend 8 hours or 10 hours unless it is prescribed by the government. So that's it. Thank you for sharing, Mr. Thank you. Another one is you also need to send confirmation to the participants. You can also use the Zoom through email settings. You can go to your email settings and you can customize your confirmation emails. You can send upon the registration and you can preview like thank you for sharing this training. Thank you for registering for this training. These are the things that you're going to learn. So you can confirm it via Zoom. So this is an example of confirmation email. Okay. So next is send training reminders. For Zoom webinars, you can send training reminders to them. But for Zoom meetings, unfortunately, there's no option to send training reminders. If you have collected emails, you can send a collective emails to your attendees. You can send them a reminder that you need to attend this training program on this certain date. You remind them 1 day, 1 hour, and 1 week before the training program. Okay, during the training. So during the training, you need to log in to the platform early. Of course, you need to test your platform. How early? As much as possible, 1 hour before the training. So you can test your Mentimeter if it is working, your PowerPoint, you can test the videos, you can test the audios, you can test everything. Another thing, when you are having the training, you need to flash the name of your training so the participants will know what training are they attending. So for example, you flash this training so the participants, I'm attending this type of this training. This is the speaker. How do I see these things? Okay. So you need to flash the names of the training while people are waiting. Or if you have commercials if you have ads before the training start, you can play videos, you can post some ads, or you can post some reminders. Okay, next is play coffee house background music. This is just to smooth things up, just to ready your trainings to the participants. It's like you're in the hotel, you're attending a training in a hotel. There's a soft music in the training room just to make the training participant relax. So there's a lot of free music in YouTube. You can use YouTube or Spotify, or you can use your own music. So as much as possible, play a soft music. Don't play rock music, or just play a cozy music. Or you can also play music that the participants know. Of course, you know the profile of the participants. You can play OPM music just for them to be catchy while waiting. So you need to play music to have this cozy event or cozy setting. Flash reminders, it's important to flash reminders about certificates, reminders about the training, how do we go about it, and everything. Next, it is important to assign someone to facilitate the training. If you're the speaker, assign someone to facilitate someone to introduce the program. And if you're the meeting organizer, you're the one who's going to facilitate the training, or you can be at the technicals. You assign someone, maybe your staff, to facilitate the training, and you're doing the technicals and coordinating with the speaker. So in conducting an online training, it's a team effort. You need to have a detailed planning. You need to have a coordination. So the facilitator will welcome the participants, explain the webinar, and introduce the speaker. Okay, so you also can use engagement tools before the start of the training program. We use Mentimeter. We use Mentimeter to ask some questions. You can use Slido, and you can use Kahoot. One of our consultants and trainers in the organization, he used Kahoot during his training to check, to just to prepare the participants on the training. Okay, you can use this software, or if you cannot afford it, you can use polls in Zoom poll. You can have poll, for example, you want to know how many participants, the gender, the department in your company who attended. Okay, you can create polls, who wants sushi, who wants to eat burger. That. Okay, another thing is you can give instruction when and how to throw questions. A while ago, excuse me, there's an instructions on how, if you want to ask questions or if you want to participate, give instruction to the participant. Excuse me for a while. Okay, excuse me. So you can give instructions when and how to throw questions. If you can ask the meeting the webinar facilitator or the training organizer to discuss to them how they can ask questions. For example, if you are the speaker, the type of speaker who doesn't want to be asked questions during your presentation, because sometimes you lose the things that you want to say. You can say that, okay, questions will be asked after my presentations. You can ask questions using the chat button, and I'll going to answer it. Next is give participants break. Of course, tell them that you're going to have break for coffees and for if they want to have a bladder break. Of course, you need to give them break. So before the training ends, make sure that you need to discuss the next steps after the training. If you are the company or the learning and development manager, you need to explain to the participants that, okay, you attended this type of training, and the next steps for this training is we're going to assess your task or job. Or for example, if you're going to do safety training, you're going to tell them that, okay, the next thing is we're going to have site inspection for us to know that you have effectively roll out the safety procedures in the company or in the plant level. So discuss to the participants what are the things that they are expect to do after the training. And lastly is send evaluation links immediately, because after the training, sometimes if you send the evaluation links after, participants will forget it. So you cannot get their responses if you don't send the evaluation link. Okay, then thank the speakers and the participants for coming. So I know that the speakers prepared for his lecture. Thank the speakers to feel that he or she is appreciated, and also thank the participants for spending their time. Of course, the participants, this is a training, and of course, their time, instead of them working, they're listening to your seminars or your webinars, and also you, instead of doing other things or resting in your house, you're attending this webinar. So thank you for that. Okay, now let's go now to the online meeting tools. So as I told you in the beginning of the session, I'm going to share with you what are the online meeting tools that you can use. Some of the tools are free and some of the tools are paid. So in this platform, you can see these are some example of video tools like Zoom, Skype, Google Meet, appear in. You have for conferencing, we have an engagement tools, Mentimeter, Slido, Kahoot. We have notes sharing tools like Evernote, Google Docs, or OneNote. We have online whiteboards for collaborations. We have real-time board, Dkit. For the managements of tasks, we have Trello, Write, Wunderlist, Asana. For the session planning, we have Session Lab. We have surveys. We use Google Forms, Typeform, and SurveyMonkey. Some of us also use Qualtrics. And we have storage. We have OneDrive, Dropbox, and Google Drive. So these are the online meeting tools that we've been using. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you three brainstorming or mind mapping tools that we've been using in the organization as well as in our partners. We use Padlet, we use Miro, and we use Puppet. So I'm just going to share with you the functionalities of each devices. These devices are paid and these devices are also free. So if you really want to use this, you can apply for the paid plans. And if you want to use the free plan, you can also use the free plan. So I'm not endorsing these three things, but these are the things that we've been using. Okay, let's go now to Padlet. So Padlet is a digital pin board. So it helps the group reflect about an issue and prepare it for a presentation. And it can be used to deliver online training session by splitting up to the bigger group. For example, if you're in a breakout session, you use Padlet for sticking up. For example, you have this. We use Post-it sometimes in our activities, and we ask participants to stick it in the room. For Kanban, if you're familiar with Kanban, we use sticky notes. This is good. Padlet's good for meeting. I'm going to show you how we use Padlet. In order to make Padlet, you can make wall, you can make canvas, you can stream, you have grid, you have shelf, backup. You can also have a map. You can also have timeline. So example of the Padlet that we used before, when we had this planning on OSH program, I asked my consultants, okay, what are the programs that you want to conduct for 2021? Then they told me, I asked them that let's have the virtual pin board, write down what are the things that you want to put. So I asked my consultants to brainstorm or to write things that people will be needing for 2021. What are the courses that we're going to launch? So they put this one: risk management, diversity in the workplace. So this is a team collaboration whiteboard platform. So you can also share this to the members of the group, so they can participate also in the activity. So you can add members, you can add them, or you can share the whiteboard via QR code or via copy link, or you can send the email to them. So what we usually do, if we're in a Zoom platform, we just copy the link to the clipboard and send it to them, so they can access the Padlet. So that's one of the things that we've been using in the organization. Another one is we also use Miro. So what is Miro? So Miro is an interactive visualization of ideas. It is a virtual whiteboard for collaboration, and it gives a structured content. It is free, and if you want to upgrade to a premium plan, you need to pay $16 per month per team member. So I'm just going to show you a video of Miro. So that's Miro. I'm not I'm not a brand ambassador of Miro, Poplet, and I don't get anything from them. If I'm promoting their product, I hope I can get something out of them. So Miro, Miro is you can use Miro for trainings, meetings, mind mapping tools. If you want to brainstorm, they have you can use Kanban, you can use mind mapping, you can use storyteller, story map framework. If you're also using a business model canvas or a lean canvas, you can also use Miro as a template. You can also use concept map and product roadmap. So those are the functionalities of Miro. So again, it's some of the features are free and some of the features are paid. So you can go to www.miro.com to check their platform. Okay, last is Puplet. So this is the last platform that we've been using in one of our trainings. So it is used to visualize ideas. It's a mind mapping tool. It support in reflecting, thinking a process. If you are into the process, the logic process, the design thinking process, or if you are fond of doing maps, mapping out ideas, Poplet is a good platform for you. This is one of the example of Poplet. For example, if you want to create ideas and you want to show the relationship of these ideas, you can use this platform, this Poplet platform. Okay, so I guess I'm done with my discussion. So just to recap about my discussion, we have discussed the best practices in conducting an online meeting, and we also discussed effective management of online meetings and webinars. We know what are we discussed some online etiquettes that we need to have in during our online meeting. I discussed the Zoom platforms and I teach you how we design meetings and trainings. And I also shared with you some online tools that can help you with your online meetings. And now, before I end my presentation, I would like to ask anyone if they have any questions or if they want to share something about this training. Unfortunately, I'll not be sharing my slides because I need to improve my slides. But you can rewatch the video. You can share the video we're going to upload is via our um, YouTube platform. So we're going to upload this and share the link with you so you can share it with other. At least the slides that I've been discussing, there's an explanation on those slides for you to better understand these kind of things. Okay, thank you. Dami kong natutunan. Thank you, Ruby, for attending. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you, everyone. Um, Thank you. So, do you have any more questions or things that you want me to share with you? So, I leave a few questions. Okay. Thank you very much. I guess this is not the last time that I'm going to present for the Learning Innovation Hub. This is a project for us. The brown bag session we're going to have twice a month. Brown bag session. I'm going to invite people in the learning and development field to share their practices, the technologies that they're using, and if there are some improvements in the learning and development industry, we're going to discuss it in the brown bag session. Okay, so before I close this session, I would like to ask everyone um, to answer the evaluation form. So please evaluate this training program by clicking on the link that I have provided in the chat box. There's a link for the Google Forms. Please evaluate. If you like this webinar, please tell us why you like this webinar. If you don't like my delivery, the contents that I shared, please tell me how I improve my presentation and what are the things that you want to for us to uh, talk or to tackle in the next brown bag session. The brown bag session is absolutely free. No need to pay when you attend the brown bag session. We're going to share you the invitation via your email. For the data privacy purposes, we've collected your emails, the participants' emails here, and we're going to put it in our email campaigns. If you are not good or if you don't want to receive email, you can unsubscribe to the email campaign. It's easy to unsubscribe, or you can send us an email that, sir, I don't want to receive any emails. In the emails, we're going to share with you the tips, or we're going to share with you the, our activities, what are the next brown bag sessions that you can attend. Brown bag session will be conducted starting on the third brown bag session will be conducted next month. Next month is next year, January. I'll post the dates. I'll post the topics. It's a Saturday from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock or 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. It depends on the discussion. Okay, I don't see the link in the chat box. Okay. Okay, can you see the link? I posted already. This the link? No. Okay, I don't see the link. Oh. Okay, anyway, I'll just share the link maybe in this other computer. I'll share the link. Okay, how about this? Can you see the link? Yes, got it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, finally, you got the link. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please evaluate the training programs for us how to improve the delivery of these training programs. With that, thank you very much for attending this 3-hour brown bag session. I hope you learned a lot from us or from me in how do we handle online Zoom meetings, and as well as how do we conduct training programs. So next month, please wait for our announcement when will be the next brown bag session, so we can invite you to attend those. Okay, thank you everyone. Yes, you can still contact us via email. You can send email to us if you want us to talk to us. Okay, if there's no more questions, I would like to turn it over to Miss Mary Grace, streaming all the way from South Korea, Seoul, South Korea. So thank you for my other panelists, Vitran and Tantran. They're streaming from Vietnam, and Mary Grace is streaming from South Korea, Seoul, South Korea. Okay, thank you very much. Now I would like to give the platform to Grace. Grace.
Thank you, Mr. Tadeo, for sharing your experience in managing Zoom meetings and webinars. We hope that you learned a lot from him today. I would like to thank everyone who participated to this webinar. And again, the webinar will be uploaded tomorrow to our YouTube channel, Learning Innovation Hub PH. This is Mary Grace Lee, your facilitator for today, saying thank you everyone and stay safe.
Thank you everyone for attending. Have a safe day and have an advance happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye bye. Thank you everyone.